get asked quite frequently, what do you think of RPO or recruitment process outsourcing? The reality is, it's a fad pushed by consultants, it's a fad pushed by RPO vendors. I don't recommend it except in limited cases. It has many more problems than results. First of all, if you think like a business person, you want a competitive advantage. You want to hire better people than a competitor. But if they also work with this RPO, you can have a competitive advantage. You're going to get the same people as they get. So if that's your solution, I want the same people as everyone else, then it's okay. But if you want the best people, you have to have the best talent pool, the best recruiters. They can't do that. Next, they do the vanilla approach. So I certainly worked with a few of them. If you look at their solutions, they're vanilla. Their technology is vanilla. Why? Because customers, if you have a variety of customers across industries, the only solution you can offer is vanilla. So it's mediocre. It's not a bad process, but it's certainly not an excellent process. If you look at the people they hire, they're mediocre also in some cases. They're not the best. Why? Because why would you want, if you're a great recruiter, would you want to work in an RPO? Most would rather work in the corporate environment or outside as an independent contractor. I've never seen a best practice. So if you look at Google and they're hiring, or Microsoft or someone who's good at it, there are tons of best practices. You know, ask your RPO, cite one best practice. They don't have one. They have mediocre practices. So they're not leading edge. If you want leading edge recruiting practices, social media for example, these are people in the Philippines calling on a telephone, not the same thing as social media. So if you really want to be advanced, you're going to have to do this yourself. You want to be first, you can't expect a vanilla approach to be first. And once you are first, you're going to expect them to sell it to everyone else. So you have some real problems. If cost is your driver, if you're doing high volume jobs, you're not particularly concerned about quality, you know, you're filling call center jobs, you might be able to use them, but it's really still sourcing. Most of the assessment is still done by companies. So if you mean RPO sourcing, yeah, we've been using executive search as an RPO source for years. It's more expensive, they have to make a profit, and they can't understand your organization. So when you say, well, we're different as Zappos, of course you are. How could a stranger in the Philippines understand your culture, your values, what you're looking for? How can they sell? You know, hey, I work for this company and I'm selling this company. But no, you're not from Zappos. You don't have the same energy or excitement or drive or even knowledge. So they're just not capable. And if you find one that's willing to take pay at risk or do a side-by-side comparison to say, we don't get paid if we don't produce higher quality hires, better performing hires, that would be great, but you're not going to find that. What would I recommend? You know, you don't outsource mission critical functions. Benefits might be not that important, but recruiting is the lifeblood of an organization. It requires brand building, which they can't do, requires competitive advantage, requires new leading edge approaches. If you want the latest in social media, they're just not going to be there. They're going to be a year or two behind.